What is going on, guys? New intro, still tweaking. Adam's not going to like that I used it, but I wanted to show it to you guys here first on the Turnbuckle Times 10 count AEW Weekly Recap. As Adam said, we've kind of tweaked it a little bit. Instead of doing immediately after the shows, each one, he's going to hit Raw and SmackDown, release them on Monday night. I'm going to hit Dynamite and Rampage and release them on Friday night afterwards. So let's just do this, you guys. Like we try to keep this short. It's gonna 10 counts. 10 counts going to be a little interesting with a lot to cover. So let's bounce ourselves back to Dynamite this week. So Dynamite this week was really good, really solid. Obviously, probably the two high points of Dynamite were kind of in the beginning and the end. The beginning being obviously Adam Cole's first match in AEW. Great match. I mean, and you put him in there against a really good guy. You put him in there against Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian is a 20-plus year veteran, an AEW OG, as he calls it, and he is the elite hunter. And Adam Cole's Adam Cole, man. I would be remiss if I didn't say Adam Cole, baby, to honor my boy Adam Raymer. But he looked really good, looked really solid. I found it super interesting that he actually, not only does he keep his name, he keeps the Bebe. He also got to keep the name of his finisher, which I thought was kind of surprising. I was a little shocked that he was able to still call it the Panama Sunrise. But, dude, Adam Cole's so good. We were talking about it. Me and Adam were talking about it off air and said he's probably the biggest signing they've had. I mean, CM Punk is CM Punk, but Adam Cole is 32 years old. He was a mainstay of NXT. He was the next guy, I feel, and he's totally like a superstar for the next 10 years. So, I mean, great first match in AEW. He's already booked for his second, which I believe will be coming up in about a week and a half or so. So, great. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Adam Cole is just a hell of a wrestler anyway. Secondly, you had some kind of other things kind of in there. You had Moxley with the fight with New Japan, and that was good with Suzuki. That was a good match. And then you kind of had near the tail end of that, you also had you had the promo for obviously for Daniel Bryan Danielson, sorry, and Kenny Omega. What I found most interesting about that is the freedom in which Bryan Danielson is performing. I think it's amazing. He was kind of clean cut, wholesome guy, eco-friendly, vegan in WWE, and like he's cursing, he's talking about like kicking his fucking head off, all these things. Obviously, that match is now booked for Grand Slam, which is the big, massive one next week from Arthur Ashe Stadium. That is where 2 hours of Dynamite will be, and a special edition 2 hours of Rampage. So, I mean, that's going to be really interesting too. I think it's also interesting that they are kind of perpetuating forward this with CM Punk and Team Taz. I'm not thrilled that his next match is going to be against Powerhouse Hobbs, but obviously you have him come out. He's doing everything and anything for AEW. He's on the mic. He's on commentary. He's just coming to the ring. He's behind the scenes. Obviously, this one he was setting up his match, but also he was in commentary, and CM Punk's just amazing anyway. So that was entertaining for me. Got put through a table. You set up. I think it's really cool too. Rampage next week is going to be massive. It's his first match in 7 years on television. So, I mean, you had All Out, which was a massive thing for him. First match in 7 years, period. But now you have his first match that pretty much the world can see because you're not paying $49.99 for it. So it's going to be really great. It's going to be really good. I don't love that it's against Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm not a huge fan of Team Taz. It feels shoehorned. There's so many other people that I feel like he could match up well against. I think he's eventually going to fight Adam Cole. There was a lot of talk during the Adam Cole match because that's where he was on commentary. There was a ton of talk of him about how he inspired Adam Cole. Adam Cole was a wrestler because of CM Punk, things like that. So, I mean, I thought that was very interesting. You also had Fuego del Sol challenging Miro, blah, blah, blah. I love me some Miro. We're going to get to that in a minute on what the results of that challenge were, because that took place on Rampage tonight, and the results were basically kind of what you thought they were going to be. And you still had this perpetual cycle of MJF, Brian Pillman Jr. Y'all know how I feel about this. I like Brian Pillman Jr. He is not ready, in my opinion, for the main event stage. MJF is just, he's an otherworldly heel. He's amazing. And Pillman's just not there on the mic yet. Pillman is not his dad. I mean, that sounds bad, and his dad was amazing. But he's not there on the mic yet, so I'm not entirely sure kind of how I feel about that. He's not going to beat MJF. It's just not going to happen. But, I mean, he's getting a little bit of a rub. We'll kind of see where this comes from. There's rumors that he could be taking on the unhinged persona that his dad had. And then, you had the Malachi setting up for Cody. Cody kind of comes back. Rosario Dawson, for some reason, decides to attack Malachi in the middle of it, which was super weird. Not a huge fan, but I mean, I get the idea of you get a rub from a celebrity, so you take it. Really, honestly worried on what's going to happen at Grand Slam because of the fact that Cody's coming back. I worry he's going to squash Malachi in that match, and that'll kill any momentum that Malachi has from coming in. All in all, it's such a big show next week. It almost feels like they're setting up a pay-per-view. AEW is very different for those who don't watch it, that they only have 4 pay-per-views a year, 4, maybe 5. So they have these very special Dynamites and Rampages, Fyter Fest, night 1 and 2, Fight for the Fallen, Road Rager, Homecoming, and Grand Slam. They're special event ones. And so it's very much almost like a build to a pay-per-view this week, because they're building to those, which is going to be an extremely loaded match card, obviously. And I would be remiss if I forgot to say Jade Cargill fought on Dynamite for the first time in a while, completely squashed Layla. Girl's amazing. Like, she's ascending, and I do love Ruby Soho. I don't know where that's going to go. We'll talk about that because some more stuff happened on Rampage tonight with that. So all in all, I give it a B. B minus. Wasn't great. Did a lot of good setup. Had some really good promo work. So I was pleased with it. So let's jump forward to tonight. You had AEW Rampage tonight. And it was good. You had the Lucha Brothers defending their titles. Great match. Lucha Brothers are amazing. Penta loses his mask. Penta sacrifices himself so they can get the win. He's in there covering his face. It was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, the Lucha Brothers, I enjoy whenever they're in the ring, and how they do. So, I mean, shockingly enough, I'm okay with it. I am. You had Ruby confronting Britt Baker. That's going to be really great. I'm torn on that. I really, really like Ruby, but at the same token, I'm unsure of if they're going to be willing to take the titles off of, or take the title off of Britt this early. Britt is kind of the face of AEW Women's Division, but Ruby's good, man. Ruby's hot right now. Ruby's being cheered hard. You never know. You had, and then you had this squash match, which does set up a very interesting match. You had Miro kind of squashing Fuego del Sol again. Just, and I love Miro. Stuffing the car keys in his mouth, putting him in the game over. I like watching Miro. What can I say? Me and Adam were talking about this the other day, and so I find myself cheering for heels nowadays that I'm older, and that's kind of shocking. But the interesting aspect of this is who comes down to save Fuego del Sol, his best friend, Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, who is so completely over that they cheer him. Do they take the title off of Miro? Does Sammy give him his first loss ever in AEW? It's a good question. Who knows? We're going to find out. And then, overall, not bad. Not bad. The thing when it comes to Rampage is it is a shorter show. So you're not, you're covering 3 matches most, unless it's like last week where it was like 2 matches because the Andrade Pac match took up so much time. So all in all, I liked it. I was okay with it. I would give it a C. The matches didn't stun me. I'd give it a B. I'll go B minus because Miro was in it, and I love Miro, and the Lucha Brothers were there, so I love the Lucha Brothers too. So you know what? I'm gonna go B plus. I'm gonna go B plus because 2 of like the 4 matches, highly entertaining with wrestlers and characters that I really really enjoy. So next week, you guys, will kind of almost be like this supersized version probably of Turnbuckle Times 10 count because we have Grand Slam, Arthur Ashe Stadium, biggest show ever for AEW, Dynamite and Rampage, 2 hours each. They're loaded match cards, so kick back, crack a beer, get ready because Turnbuckle Times 10 count is going to be so much fun next week. I'm out of here, you guys.